Thank you, Jenny. Okay, so without further ado, I will now hand over to Patsy Goh. Right, Patsy, please kindly take it away from here.
Hi, thank you, George. Good evening, everyone. This evening's topic is on dementia, which is very close to my heart. I'm Patsy, and I'm a mother of two wonderful boys, and I have 3 grandchildren aged 10, 8, and 18 months. Can somebody please spotlight me? Yeah, okay. Okay, this is a picture of my mom with me. Yes, I've been caregiver for her for 10 years. Isn't she beautiful? I thought so. She was very pretty to me. Okay, dementia these days is on everybody's lips. We hear, we say, well, what is dementia? Dementia is an umbrella term for several diseases. There are 100 or more types affecting our memory, cognitive abilities, and behavior that interfere significantly with a person's ability to maintain the activities of daily living. Although age is the strongest risk factor for dementia, it is not, I repeat, it's not a normal part of aging. If you look at the slide here, under the umbrella on the left, the 2 most common dementia types in Singapore is Alzheimer's disease and vascular dementia. So you asked yourself, what is Alzheimer's disease? If you look at the healthy brain on the left, it's very pretty, very nice. And the Alzheimer's brain is on the right side. You notice that the brain is much smaller, it's shrunk, and there are plaques and tangles at the bottom. Alzheimer's disease is a type of brain disorder. It is a degenerative illness, which means symptoms worsen over time, long before getting diagnosed. Doctors and medical scientists believe that Alzheimer's disease usually begins 2 decades before the symptoms arise. Initially, the changes in the brain cells are unnoticeable to the affected person or to his family members. However, after a few years, these brain changes are potent enough to affect our brain, memory, and conversational abilities. Symptoms begin to appear as the neurons or nerve cells in parts of the brain responsible for cognitive function receive damage. These brain cells support our memory, thinking, learning, and important functions. Hence, many dementia and Alzheimer's disease patients become bedbound during the last few years of their life. Dementia is expected to become one of the leading causes of death in Singapore in the near future. Caregivers will find it very challenging to provide the best caregiving care to their loved ones and dementia patients. Taking care of individuals who have dementia is a long and tough journey. I was a caregiver to my mom, who was diagnosed with dementia for 10 years, from 2006 till she passed on in 2016. She had what we would term as aggressive dementia. My caregiving journey with my mom can be best described in 3 phases: discovering dementia, adjusting to dementia, and loving dementia. How did I discover dementia? Mom started to show signs and symptoms of dementia between 2005 and 2006. She was 70 years old then and was living with me. I was her only child, and we were a very close-knit family. She was a spiteful lady who was born into a poor family. She went through many struggles in life since age 7. Despite the struggles at this tender age, Mom was resilient and made countless sacrifices to raise me up as a single parent. She was illiterate and is a role model of unconditional love to us. She had a strict code of conduct of moral values, which inculcated in me over the years. Mom helped me raise my two boys, while my husband and I held full-time jobs. Before the onset of her illness, Mom was a master chef, a wonderful great cook, and a disciplined organizer in our household. Every Christmas and New Year, my friends would have a feast whenever they visit. Her mee siam was a favorite. Many of my friends would attest to it. Now I know where I inherited the passion to cook. Her favorite game was mahjong, and she was very good and skilled at it. It was one of a source of income bringing me up. It was also one of a source of income to make sure the ends meet. Regretfully, I never knew how to play mahjong. I am sure many of you here also love to play mahjong, right? Mom was in the pink of health. She exercised regularly and was very careful with her diet. She slowly started to display forgetfulness and was easily irritated. She closed her bank accounts and claimed that she had not gone to the bank. She became more and more paranoid about her possessions, in particular money matters. She had closed the bank accounts on several occasions. On one of these occasions, it was a substantial amount. She had misplaced the cashier's order, and it was found neatly folded inside her spectacle case. On one occasion, she closed $11,000 and walked home with $1,000 notes, 11 pieces inside her pocket. She could have been robbed. That's what I thought. We started experiencing caregiver frustrations. We were mentally exhausted and tired, as we had to take turns to attend to her 24/7. Her paranoia seemed to give her this boundless amount of energy we just could not understand. Over time, Mom became increasingly abusive and aggressive in her words and actions. She was lost at one time and did not know how to go home. We had to go out looking for her. We had to resort to do our own research online on dementia and the types of medication administered to my mom. She was given dopamine drug. I came to realize that mom's medication was more to help control the symptoms she was displaying, her emotions, her depression, her mood swings. This was so that her carers or caregivers could better manage her for their daily activities, like feeding, bathing, change of clothes, etc. There is no cure for dementia. But back in 2006 then, I was hopeful and praying that scientists and researchers will find a cure or some preventive measure in the near future. Mom was admitted to the psychiatric ward. No medication was given to her as she was under observation. Her behavior was erratic, uncontrollable. She was difficult to manage as she had frequent mood swings. She started to curse and use abusive words on me for leaving her there. She chased me home and told me not to ever come back again to see her. It was an emotional 2 weeks for all of us. At the end of the 2 weeks of the 2 weeks observation, the hospital staff told us that she will be discharged. We had to make a decision whether we wanted to place her in an institutional home, that's a nursing home, or have her home cared. As much as we wanted to have her home cared, we were very concerned and feared a repeat of aggressive behavior, especially when there was no carer at home during the day when we were working. She may hurt herself too. After much thought and discussion with her family, I reluctantly agreed that the best option for all of us was to have her to stay at the nursing home for her own safety. The nursing home we chose had to be nearby for us to visit her too. It would be safer for her there, as she would receive better quality care 24/7. The nursing home was secured, as it had security doors on every floor. The main entrance and also the gate, the main gate. We visited Mom several times a week and took her out on weekends for visits to her close relatives, went for her favorite dim sum, walks at the beach, and also went for music therapy. She loved music. The photo on the right side bottom shows her holding a little drummy ball stick. It's not a lollipop, okay? It is a little drum to hit the cymbals. She was very happy and looks forward to our outings that we will always have, but we will always have a difficult time sending her back to the nursing home. She kept asking when she can be back home with us. I felt a lot of sadness and pain. We worked closely with the nursing home and monitored her daily routine, progress, and behavior. All we can do is the best we can for her. It has not also been easy for my mom as well. She went through a difficult transition to be at the nursing home, especially during her first 2 years there. She felt abandoned by her loved ones. She was confused. She didn't know what was happening. She hated hospitals and homes and used to remind me never to put her there when she gets old. To her, children would abandon their parents there. And this is what I did. I couldn't believe this is what I did. On numerous occasions, she told me she wanted to end her life, as she did not find any meaning or purpose to continue on living, and did not want to be a burden to us. She knew something was really wrong with herself. Dementia is a horrible disease, and it's a slow, debilitating illness. We watched Mom deteriorate over the past 10 years with her illness. She had to rely on full assisted living, as she had a bad fall in the nursing home and was wheelchair bound. Mom was also on soft period food towards the last few years of her life. The trigger point of my caregiving journey was the most memorable, but a painful one for me. This happened after a Christmas party celebration in 2006. That afternoon, Mom was showing signs of instability and agitation. In the middle of the night, she was upset and wanted my attention. For some reason, my bedroom door was locked, and I was tired after our gathering and fell soundly asleep. Mom was impatient and had resorted to taking a WMF knife, this long, to try to chop down my bedroom wooden door, just to look for me. She did not realize it was in the middle of the night. My husband and I were awakened by the noise outside our bedroom door. We were anxious and frantic and was about to open the door. We could hear a lot of commotion outside the door, and my sons telling us not to come out of our room as they were worried we both could be in danger. On the other hand, we were also concerned for the safety of our two sons. We decided to call 999 from our bedroom using my handphone. We were concerned about we were concerned and wanted her to be admitted to the hospital for an early diagnosis with a geriatric doctor. Our appointment to see the geriatrician was a long wait, 6 months wait on the queue, as Singapore was still studying dementia then. After 2 weeks of observation at the psychiatric ward, and after subsequent tests and observations, the doctors at the hospital diagnosed my mom to have Alzheimer's disease. We heard that dementia is an awful illness to be diagnosed with. We were utterly shocked and surprised. How could this be? We could not believe that my mom, of all persons who was in the pink of health, had dementia. She is no longer the caring, loving mom and the person we knew. How prepared were we? I would say we were unprepared. I was frustrated and angry. I was guilty and in despair. There was completely nothing I could do to help her. Had I neglected my duty as a filial daughter? Could I have spent more quality time with her? My job required me to work late hours, coming at 11 p.m. every day. Are these familiar to many of you caregivers out here tonight? If only I could wind back the clock, I would have. I kept crying. I'm still crying now. I kept crying and asked God, why? There was no answer. Many people in the past labeled dementia as being of unsound mind and mentally unstable. They were also sent to the psychiatric hospital. In Singapore, it would be the Woodbridge Hospital to be treated. There was a stigma for our families to discuss or talk about it. It was also not much information or knowledge available on dementia at that point of time. Putting aside our struggles and challenges faced taking care of my mom, we will always treasure every moment and keep so special memories we had with my mom. My mom was fortunate to be present at my son's wedding and also to participate in the tea ceremony. I was very moved. I had to make a lot of adjustments to get a caregiver to be in and put them in the hotel room upstairs and brought it down when it's time for tea ceremony. It was a touching moment for all of us. We came to understand that's why I came to understand and love dementia. We cared and loved Mom for who she is, or she was before the onset of her dementia. We never forgotten who she was underneath and the original person we always loved. That's the end of my journey as a caregiver. I'd like to share some statistic slides with you all at the moment now. This is a survey done by Dementia Singapore, which is formerly called Alzheimer's Disease Association. Let's look at some statistics. This slide shows a percentage of elderly people who had dementia in Southeast Asia. The purple column is in the year 2016. The blue column shows a projection in the vast increase in numbers from 2016 to 2015. It's 1 in 5. This dementia statistics in Singapore was done in 2020. 1 in 10 people in Singapore aged 60 and above have dementia. 1 in 2 people in Singapore aged 65 and above have dementia. How many of you fall into this bracket, 1 in 10? Yeah, we have about 100 over 160 attendees tonight at this talk. The numbers keeps increasing as our population ages. By 2030, over 100,000 people are estimated to be diagnosed with dementia. More than half of those posts by Dementia Singapore said they can't be open about living with dementia. 72%, nearly 3 or 4 of dementia patients feel rejection and loneliness. 56% of dementia patients worry about being incompetent. I'd like to share these 10 warning signs with dementia. Memory loss, frequent memory loss, difficulty performing familiar tasks, problems with language, disorientation into time and place, they forget where they are, poor or decreased judgment, they can't make a judgment or decision, problems keeping track of things, misplacing things is very common. Because they misplace things, they accuse many people of stealing their money and stealing their money and personal belongings. It's very common. Changes in mood and behavior. Challenges understanding dementia and special information. Withdrawal from work or social activities. Hi, if I better understand young onset dementia, in George Chong's case, he was only 48 years old. Young onset dementia is often caused by the brain diseases that afflict older people, but the progression of brain changes in younger people is usually more rapid, resulting in a faster loss of thinking abilities. Researchers by doctors at National Neuroscience Institute, NNI, showed that YODs, young onset dementia, is more aggressive than dementia in the old. In the video you saw, 2,000 to 3,000 young people are estimated to have YOD. It devastates the lives of sufferers at the time when they're still building careers, they're young children, and or raising children. And when hit, they find themselves trying to cope with the diagnosis, as well as having to handle their own emotions. It's very challenging for them and the family. These diseases may lead to strokes, which may eventually result in vascular dementia in the case of those with young onset dementia. Worse still, if it was a silent stroke. Professor Nayendran of NNI Singapore said that one of the reasons for the increase in number of YOD could be due to the 3 highs. Look at the picture. What are your 3 highs? Diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. These diseases can lead to strokes, which may eventually result in vascular dementia in the case of young onset dementia. So what is vascular dementia? Look at this slide. You see blood clot, the area of brain deprived of blood vessels, and the blood unable to pass the clot. Vascular dementia is one of the second common forms of dementia in Singapore besides Alzheimer's disease. Vascular dementia is an illness that affects the brain, leading to progressive memory loss, decline in intellectual ability, and personality changes. It also affects a person's ability to think, learn, and make decisions. I'd like to share a few weeks ago, we had, Straits Times had this article which was in the news on 13 September. People with long COVID feared at risk of developing dementia. There's also a growing concern that some of these long haulers may get dementia-related changes earlier than expected. I'm sure many of you will be concerned about this too. I would be concerned. You can check this article out a few weeks ago, last week, I think. I'd like to share tips and advice to caregivers at this moment. For carers supporting a person with dementia, it is a long, debilitating journey that demands our endurance, both physically and emotionally. To develop this endurance for caregiving, caregivers must first want to make adjustments to their own lives. We may need to adapt and make changes to our lifestyle. It's not an option. I think you will have to. Your lifestyle cannot continue going on. It will affect everybody in the family. How can you sustain yourself as an effective caregiver then? Here are points to note. Caregiver burnout is true, is real. How do we cope with the strains and stress of caregiving? We need to be mindful of our limitations and learn to care for ourselves first. Recognize the signs of caregiver burnout. We caregivers may be so caught up with our daily routine to care for our loved ones that we may begin to neglect ourselves, grow distantly from our friends, and eventually left alone with no friends and no support. Allow those who care and who love us to be our pillars of support for advice and have a shoulder to lean on. Endurance, physically and emotionally. Caregiving is physically tiring. I showed signs of fatigue and suffered sleepless nights. Emotional fatigue was even more draining for me. I realized I was going about doing things I had to and not that I wanted to. There's a difference, right? Caregivers do get stressed and burn out. This is where family and friends support comes in to the caregiver to have a good break, to recharge, even in means an hour or two. Try to get to meet other caregivers who are able to share, understand your struggles and challenges. Caregiving is not a sole responsibility. Let me remind you that. I'm glad to see that the public is more aware of dementia now, and many caregiving support groups and healthcare professionals are now available to offer advice and help. Do take a break if you have to. If you need to relax and unwind. We need not feel guilty about it. Watch a movie, have a coffee break, go window shopping, be recharged to start a new day. Also talk about time management. Try to be organized so you will not be overwhelmed with so much things to do, especially when you have to look after the kids, their tuition, your job, and also the home, on top of the caregiving duties you have. As for myself, I don't like physical exercises. I prefer to unwind with my various hobbies, which I love too: cooking, baking, art, and craft. This is things I like. I find these activities very therapeutic for me and helps me to take my mind off my worries too. Find something that you like to do which can help you. I like to also talk about planning your finance. It is very important to plan and look at your finances in order to be prepared should any crisis happen in your family, especially if you have to care for someone with dementia, which is long-term. Did you know the hospital, medical, and nursing care costs are very expensive in Singapore? We know, but actually we don't really know. How many of us can afford to pay should we have to care for someone with dementia, which is a long-term illness? When my mom had dementia, we still have our house mortgage loan to settle. Property price was low and we could not sell. What did we do next? Mom's nursing care cost us around 3,000 per month for an 8-bedded room. Because we were in landed property, we were not eligible to the means testing. This does not include additional costs like medication, doctor's consultation fees, etc. This is the reality. The salary for my full-time job was just enough to cover for the monthly charges at the nursing home. This cost keeps increasing yearly, they will tell you. Being the only child, I had no siblings. I was concerned how we were going to manage as mom's dementia is a long-term illness. There was hardly any money to save. Be careful not to be over-insured too. It is really about balancing affordability, needs, and wants too. In 2010, I was thankful to chance upon Avita through my good friend Pauline Lim. Avita gave me an opportunity to earn passive income towards paying my additional expenses, which I had to cover. When the property price picked up, I made a decision to downgrade my property. This helped us to not only care for mom's future nursing care costs, but also helped us to start planning for our own retirement. In my book, I had shared on the 3 R's: review, reset, replan. We always review, we do a reset and replan. It's a cycle. Every now and then you have to look at it. My husband and I wanted to be individually responsible to plan and care for ourselves, so we will not be a burden to our family. Our children, and loved ones. Lastly, I'd like to talk about how do I keep healthy and age gracefully. As a caregiver myself, I share the same worries, frustrations, stress, anxiety, and depressions like many of you. I was concerned that dementia would also be hereditary. My approach to healthcare is now more inclined towards a natural, holistic way. My husband and I try our best to lower our 3 highs to prevent the risk of vascular dementia. These are what we did. You see the picture on the right? TCM meridian acupressure massage, so that I can have a better blood circulation. Take food supplement NGF, natural growth factor, to help us with our autonomic nervous system and also helps to prevent dementia. And also Celergen, Swiss bio-DNA cell therapy, which helps to prevent degenerative diseases, which helps slow down aging. This is the NGF story. Up to 1 billion people, nearly 1 in 6 of the world's population suffer from neurological disorders, from Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, stroke, multiple sclerosis, epilepsy to migraine, brain injuries, and neural infections. We are all very fortunate today that scientists and researchers are constantly trying to find ways to manage dementia. Besides having a good exercise and good diet, of course, you learn how you can manage age gracefully by taking the right food supplements like NGF and Celergen to build your immune system. For instance, natural growth factor NGF. We are very blessed to have a revolutionary food supplement. NGF developed by a Singaporean scientist, Professor Lim Kamin, who specially developed the autonomic nervous system for the autonomic nervous system and enhance our immunity. That means you could help people suffering from dementia and other neuro issues. That is why my husband and I continue with these food supplements to help us to be healthy. It helps us to stimulate the production of nerve growth in the human system, the human brain. It regulates and enhances the immune system. It helps enhance memory retention and prevent neuro-degenerative diseases such as dementia, including Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and disease. Perfect for chronic diseases and all viral infections. now like to share a bit more about Celergen, which I'm taking. Celergen is the world's first bio-DNA cellular supplement from Switzerland. It helps to prevent degenerative diseases occurring as we age, like our tree highs. Osteoporosis improves alertness, stamina, and energy levels, and joint ability. Celergen helps to protect healthy cells, helps to repair damaged cells, provides high quality nutrients, helps to regenerate new healthy cells, and control cellular genetic activity. I'd like at this point to invite a special guest from Philippines. Can someone highlight Dr. Diona for me? Can someone highlight Diona for me? Yeah, okay.
Hi, Patsy.
I'd like to invite Dr. Diona, a special guest tonight, Dr. Diona Jacoba Mabus from Philippines. She's one of the pioneering doctors in the Philippines and practices integrated medicine. She will share her experience with dementia patients and how Celergen and NGF has helped her patients. Let's hear from Dr. D. Dr. D, up to you, on to you.
Hello. Thank you, Patsy, and mabuhay sa inyong lahat. I'm Dr. Diona from the Philippines. You may call me Dr. D for short. My mission is to improve the lives of everyone by combining the best of Eastern and Western medicine. Oral cell therapy, specifically Celergen and NGF, are two of the best natural but evidence-based products that I have in my wellness center. Now, will you allow me to share with you 3 of my patients? If yes, kindly type yes in your chat box. I want to see if you will allow me to share my patients. Okay, thank you very much for your response. First is the mother of my colleague, Dr. Techi Cadiz Brion. Her mom miraculously awakened from Alzheimer's dementia through Celergen. Her mom used to have blank stares, most of the time unresponsive, can't remember what she ate, and has stopped going to church every Sunday. After a few months in Celergen, her mom started to speak more in English. And one day, they were all surprised that she wanted to go to church. She remembered it's Palm Sunday, the beginning of Holy Week for Catholics. Wow. Then she will remember what she ate as well as the ingredients and even cook delicious pancit. It's like a Filipino-Chinese birthday noodles. But wait, there's more. She asked her daughter to buy her a cell phone, and she went back to her old jolly, makulit self. What an awakening. If you are amazed with this story, can you type amazing in your chat box? Yeah, I want to see. Type amazing. Yeah, correct, James. Dr. Angie Elspeth. Yeah, truly amazing, right? I'm also so amazed because I used to just watch it in the movie Awakening, but now I saw it right before my eyes. And then second is my beloved mom, Olivia Jacoba. My mom is an Iron Lady lawyer. She gave birth to 11 children, and I am child number 8. Each child has 2 names, right? So my name's Diona Reina. At the age of 83, my mom is 83, she still remembers all our names, all our birthdays, her wedding anniversary, of course, her birthday and the birthday of my dad, and names of all her grandchildren. She still remembers recipes of all our favorite foods. Remember, 11 children with wives and kids, and each child has its own favorite food. She memorized the Holy Mass, the Holy Rosary, and Divine Mercy prayers. And the best part for me is mom can still sing the lullaby which she used to sing to all of us when we were kids. Although she's showing some signs of memory loss, but it's just due to old age and it does not affect her day-to-day function. I've been giving her Celergen and NGF for 6 years now. This way, I'm sure she won't forget any of us. My mom deserves the best. Did you know that it usually takes around 25 years of brain and nerve cell degeneration until a patient will manifest neurologic signs and symptoms? My professional advice, and based on my own experience, mental disease is the hardest to treat, even harder than cancer. So don't wait for your loved ones to be diagnosed with a mental disease like dementia. Give them Celergen and NGF now. Prevention is always best. Will you type prevent now in your chat box? Yeah, prevent now. Now. Or start now. Yeah, or prevent. Okay, very good. Thank you everyone for your response. And last but not the least is the mother of my friend, Isa Galilea, who is a nurse. She's taking care of elderly patients in New Zealand. And she's very glad to still be able to take care of her mom in the Philippines through Celergen and NGF, as her mom was diagnosed with early stage of dementia. Let's all watch Isa's video sharing and maraming salamat po for listening. Patsy, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. D. Can you stop my time?
Hi, my name is Isa and I am a registered nurse currently working here in New Zealand. And I just would like to share with you a story of my mom who has experienced the wonders of the natural growth factor. It began when my mom started taking Celergen in 2018, and she is happy how Celergen is giving her energy, improving her mood, and enhancing her beauty. Meanwhile, my mom was diagnosed with early stage of dementia a few years back, and my mom wished to take something to enhance her memory as she complains of difficulty in remembering, and she felt like everything was slowly fading. So my mom wished to take something to bring back her memory and to at least to slow down the progression of the symptoms of dementia, when a friend of mine suggested for my mom to take NGF. And surprisingly, when my mom started taking Celergen with NGF, she was able to sleep well, and she said that for the longest time she was able to remember her dreams. And my mom also said that she was able to felt like her memory has been sharpened to over the weeks. And for us and for my mom's experience, it was really priceless. Thus, I thank NGF, I thank Avita for bringing this into our lives, and I thank God for the gift of NGF.
Okay, everyone, that was very nice testimony. Yeah, for hearing from Dr. D and Isa. Okay, I had earlier shared about the 3 highs. Can you remember? High blood sugar, high blood pressure, and heart disease. I'd like to invite Ernest to share on his 3 highs. Ernest has been having 3 highs for 30 years. Yes, Ernest?
Yes.
Can we hear from you? Go ahead.
Yes. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm 69 years old. I have this high blood, high cholesterol, and diabetes for the last 30 years. Basically, it looks at it is like I'm a walking time bomb. I could, have a heart failure. I could have a stroke or even Parkinson or dementia. It all boils down to actually the blood vessels. most of my blood vessels are blocked. That's the reason why I have all these three highs. But I started taking Celergen at December 2020. And in 3 months, I was shocked when the test result, my blood test result showed that all the trees are all down within specs. And I look at it, I do not have to take medication anymore, right? So I stopped taking medication, and I am still taking the Celergen, and I believe I have a motto that I always tell myself, I'm Avita's work in progress, because the damage inside my body, I do not know how serious it is. So I'm still Avita's work in progress. Mike, thank you.
Thank you, Ernest. Thank you very much. That Ernest, yeah, you like to read about Ernest's testimony? I'm sorry, I forgot to flip. I'll give you a few minutes to read about Ernest's testimony. Okay, yeah, we have another testimony. This is Jasmine's dad, who's 86 years old. We call him Akko, nickname. Jasmine's dad was not able to take instructions on the riding lessons. He loves, his dream is to have riding lessons. But after 1 year of NGF, he is able to take instructions properly and enjoys his favorite horse riding. Jasmine is very thankful her dad is now alive, she says alive, and is able to express his interest and interact with her family. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. This is another testimony I have on Parkinson's. Lisa is my friend. And on the right is Professor Lim Kamin with us. Lisa's mom was diagnosed with Parkinson's. Upon taking NGF, Lisa's mom miraculously witnessed big improvement in her walking. Her speech was clearer, and her mom was able to hold a decent conversation with her. Her left eye recovered quickly after her cataract operation too. Her mom is very happy with the increased strength in her legs taking NGF. That's the reason why my husband and I really loved it. This is to share with you what we think is a good product. Like if you eat some nice durian at a certain store, you will recommend, right? So I recommend to all of you here tonight. You can have some thought about it. Yeah. And the next slide I will share is today being 21st September. MC Josh has told you all about World Alzheimer's Day. Today, coincidentally, my talk this evening falls on the same day as World Alzheimer's Day. I'm so blessed. I'm glad that we and all of us are part of the campaign to promote and bring about more awareness to the public. I thank all of you being present here tonight to listen to my talk and being part of this campaign this evening to bring more about awareness. The campaign this year is No Dementia, KNOW, No Dementia, No Alzheimer's. It will shine a light on the warning signs of dementia, encourages people to seek information, advice, and support, as well as contacting our association, which is Dementia Singapore, or even CAL, Caregiver Alliance Singapore, Caregiving Alliance here, or the Alzheimer's or Dementia Association in your own country. It is only through a truly global effort that still surrounds dementia, and we are calling everyone to do something during this month of September, however small or however big, to this year's campaign, No Dementia, No Alzheimer's. So I'm ending my sharing soon. Before I end, I'd like to say a little bit of thing. Prevention is the key to better wellness. I would like to urge everyone here to look into preventive health care so that you will not be caught unprepared. prevent the onset of dementia regardless of how old you are. Keep healthy if you're a caregiver. Thank you everyone for being here this evening and letting me share a little part of my life. Lastly, I'd like to thank my mentor and good friend, DP Pauline, my MCs and team, George, my MC George, DP Sterling Mary for helping with the Chinese translation, Jenny, DP Chomping, DP Kit, DP Wendy, Elsbeth, and of course Mary for the kind support for giving me for tonight's Zoom to make it a success. Good night, God bless, and stay safe. Over back to my MC George. Thank you. Good night.